Buy-to-Sell Vietnam? A deliberate bad faith conduct or a persistent fraud scheme? Hi everyone and welcome. This video statement summarizes our assessment of the situation involving Buy2Sell Vietnam, related Buy2Sell entities, and LLHP Singapore based on the agreements, formal notices, emails, WhatsApp exchanges, and supporting documents reviewed. What follows is not conjecture nor speculation. It is based on the documented record and on the sequence of conduct evidenced across that record. We're trying to provide you all information to answer the very question: is Buy2Sell Vietnam following a serious, deliberate bad faith conduct or a persistent fraud scheme? Let's get started. Currently, we are 12 months into this journey, not the one we expected, to be extremely honest. At the very beginning of the relationship, Buy2Sell and its representatives were highly active, commercially engaged, and persistent in moving the project forward. A 3-year contract was finalized, roughly USD 700K. The marketing contribution was pursued. Sample shipments were coordinated, our trademark and URL domains were registered. The project was presented as a serious and structured market entry initiative. The agreements were clear. A marketing contribution was requested and paid. A first purchase order was expected within the agreed contractual time frame, 60 days. If that did not occur, the agreements contemplated reimbursement of the marketing contribution, approximately USD 35K. Now stay with me, because what comes next is about to get extremely relevant. What happened afterward was fundamentally inconsistent with those representations. Once the marketing contribution had been received, the relationship changed sharply. Communications slowed down dramatically. Responses became delayed, generic, and evasive. Key questions were often left unanswered. Follow-up became inconsistent, and periods of silence extended for weeks at a time. At the same time, the local marketing execution that was repeatedly referenced as part of the Vietnam rollout never became visible in a form that could be properly reviewed, approved, or verified. Local content and regional marketing development were invoked, but not substantiated through meaningful deliverables. The record also shows a continuous shifting of the stated reason why execution could not move forward. The operative threshold kept changing. Payment, logistics, registration documentation, certificates, notarization, legalization, stock, internal approval. Each time one issue was addressed, another took its place. Despite the repeated representation that implementation was progressing, the reviewed record does not evidence a first purchase order. It does not evidence the expected sales conversion, and it does not evidence genuine execution commensurate with the funds paid and the assurances given. By the end of 2025, the discrepancy between representation and reality was no longer explainable as ordinary delay. The promised commercial outcome had not been delivered. The contractual milestones had not been met. The reimbursement obligation had been triggered, yet no meaningful remediation followed. A formal reimbursement request was issued. A formal termination notice was then sent. Even then, no reimbursement was executed and no serious, compliant, or commercially credible response followed. Actually, no reply at all. Vanished. This pattern is made even more serious by the fact that concerns regarding Buy2Sell's reliability had already arisen early in the relationship. Now, this is a very important element. Those concerns were significant enough that formal reassurance was requested. In response, Buy2Sell issued a signed official statement affirming integrity, transparency, ethical standards, compliance, corporate governance, and financial stability. That document is critical because it shows that credibility was not merely assumed. It was explicitly questioned, explicitly addressed, and explicitly reinforced in writing. When that written reassurance is then compared with the later conduct, delayed communication, missing verifiable execution, absence of an evidenced first purchase order, non-reimbursement, and failure to respond meaningfully after formal notice, the resulting contradiction is stark. Our assessment is that this was not simply a failed commercial project and not merely a case of poor execution. The documented pattern is consistent with a structured course of conduct in which early responsiveness, contractual packaging, implementation messaging, and trust-building reassurances were used to secure the marketing contribution, while genuine execution of the agreed commercial rollout remained unfulfilled, unverified, or continuously deferred. At a minimum, this reflects serious and deliberate bad faith conduct. More seriously, the record raises substantial concern that the arrangement was used primarily to obtain the marketing contribution. Yes, to obtain marketing contribution funds without a genuine intention to perform the agreed market entry plan as represented. That is the central issue. The issue is not the delay. The issue is the combination of early trust building, payment capture, repeated postponement, insufficiently evidenced execution, non-performance against the key commercial milestone, non-reimbursement, and non-compliant handling of formal notice. Any party reviewing this matter should do so with full attention to the gap between what was represented in writing and what was actually delivered in practice. For those reasons, we consider this matter exceptionally serious and believe the record supports a strong concern that the arrangement was not pursued in good faith from the outset. Thank you for your attention. I hope this video has helped clarify whether Buy2Sell is a legitimate business partner. You will find more details in the description here below, as well as link to the reporting unredacted documents, memo, and contact.